It seems that we've got a baby bird with Mum and Dad. They never come with a third bird and they always fight other birds off, but this one, they're tolerating it. So we feel like it's their baby. How amazing. That makes me so happy. Today's video is sponsored by Read Your Heart Jewellery because I've had a few ladies ask me, can I please do a segment showing them up close and personal my rings that I got from Read Your Heart so that they can see what they're really like. So a little bit later on I'm going to pop my rings under the light and talk all about Read Your Heart's Moissanite gems. This is my absolute favourite. I am so happy with it. I love it. It's just perfect for me and my bigger fingers, whereas this one gets a little lost. So if you're someone who has now got fatter fingers than you used to have, increase the size of the carat size if you can. So if you can afford to go up to a 2-carat gem, it makes all the difference. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the little ring segment a little bit later on. How are you all getting on with your Anne's granny blanket? If you haven't seen this one before, I have tutorials down below, further along in my video section, actually in the playlist as well. That's probably an easier place for you to find it. But a number of us have been making this beautiful granny square blanket. One of our friends at the channel, Anne, designed it and was kind enough to let us use her pattern to create this blanket. It's 9 big granny squares in the middle, joined with a flat braid, and then granny rounds around the outside of them, finishing off with the ever so sweet spider stitch. So if that's something you would like to do, go and track down those videos. It's a beautiful, easy make. It's mindful yet mindless. Does that make sense to you? See, I use both of those in combination because mindless means to me that you don't have to think too hard about it. And mindful means to me that you're in the moment while you're making. So the two for me are very much a similar thing. And if you've got both of those happening at the one time, you're doing really well. It's just so good for our mental health and for our health, full stop. So Anne's granny blanket. I'm going to pop up a little slideshow next because there's a number of posts in our community feed. People who have been showing the colours they're using in the squares, showing their works in progress and showing some finished objects as well. Actually, I'll pop a link in the description box below for the information video for Anne's granny blanket, so it's nice and easy for you to just tap and go straight there. Not have to do too much searching. In a recent video, I showed you my brand new world map, Mr. Gumnut's mounted it for me so it can fit perfectly in this space, and I can pop pins in where you live. So if you would like a pin for your country, just pop it down in the comments below. I'm keeping a little list so that one day if I want to find out where someone is, I can look back, but I certainly won't share any of your personal information with anyone. So let's go and get into it. That's a small start. I've got 65 names and places to pop in so far, but I need to do some geography research because I have lots and lots and lots of you from the USA, all from varying places, of course, so I need to look up exactly where they are. For example, someone is from Cork in Ireland. See, I need to look up just roughly whether it's north, south, east or west, or smack bang in the middle. She's a work in progress, all right, and I dare say after this video I'll have some more people to add to the list as well. Can you have a New Year's resolution in August? Because I'm adding one to my list, and that is after every tutorial I film or project, I need to clean up my space instead of moving on and just adding to the mess. So I made 2 little tutorials for you this week. This might give you a hint. It's a whopper. Anyway, I need to clean up my space. Otherwise, you see what happens. It just escalates and everything snowballs and gets a whole lot worse. So they're my 2 tutorial pieces. Oh, I need to go and get my little bag. I'll be back. Okay, you may have seen these skeins of yarn hanging around, just doing nothing really, because I have them laying there so I can look at them so that my brain will make up its mind as to whether I want to keep these ones and make something for us or if I want to sell them. Now the reason I'm thinking I might need to keep them and use them, let me pop over this side. That glare isn't very good. It's because when I sell my yarn, most people don't like brown. It's not very popular at all. So that's why I'm hedging towards keeping this lot for myself. I have 2 finished objects to show you. Number 1 is a beanie. Now, I don't traditionally make many beanies, but when my little granddaughter asked for a beanie and a scarf to take to New Zealand, how could I resist? This is actually Mark 3. I started following a pattern and it turned out way too big. Then I tried something else, and then I eventually thought to go and get little Banksy's beanie and work off the size of that and just do the pattern within the size parameters. Okay, so they're both 5 years old, and I am so hoping that this little beanie will be just the right size for Florence. If it's too small, she can have the rim down like this. Now this stitch is beautiful and simple. All it is a double crochet into the stitch below, 2 chains, and then a single crochet into the same stitch below. And then what you do as you work around is work into the chain 2 space after you get your foundation round done. So it's a pretty little pattern. And then I tried to use those fluffy animal fur type pom-poms on the top, and it just didn't work. It just didn't look good. So I asked Floey what she would like, and she wanted a woolen pom-pom. Now, I haven't made a pom-pom in probably 45 years. So I did the old-fashioned way with a slight modification these days, using cardboard to make a really pretty pom-pom. And I think that one's turned out okay. It's not perfect, but you could just keep on snipping and then you'd get to the point where your pom-pom was just way too small. So that's my efforts at a pom-pom made the old-fashioned way. I did up a video tutorial for this for you because it saves you from having to rush out and buy the plastic implements, the plastic pom-pom makers in different sizes. This way, when you use cardboard, we can make it whatever size we want. Let me show you. This is the demo pom-pom that I made for the tutorial. It was huge. So I knew then that I needed to make my little cardboard circles quite a bit smaller to make this one for Florence's beanie. I actually quite like this. I feel like doing this and donking Mr. Gumnuts on the head sometimes. I think I'll just keep it accessible so I can just give him a whack. It's like the New Zealand pom-pom girls that do that special dance. Anyway, that's my pom-pom, and I have a tutorial for you coming up very soon. Also for Florence, I made a scarf. I gave her a few options of what styles that she could choose from, and she wanted this zigzag scarf. I've put not frills, tassels, not tassels, fringe. I've put a fringe on the bottom. So this is your classic ripple stitch made with the 3 double crochets in between the increase and the decrease, because you can change the ripple stitch up and make the ripple wider by doing more double crochets in between the hills and the valleys. This one measures 142 centimeters. I made it bigger than what was suggested because, again, I tried it on Banksy at the original length and it just wasn't long enough. So this way she can wrap it around as many times as she wants. I'm really happy with this. So I've done up a tutorial for you for the ripple stitch. Isn't that cute in its Barbie colours? So that if you want to make a scarf out of it, you can. I know lots of people have got tutorials for that, but I just thought we'd do one of our own to have handy when you come and visit Gumleaf Crochet. All you have to do is make up a chain length divisible by 12 plus 2 for your turning chain, and then just add fringe to the bottom. Now this scarf and this beanie used up nearly 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. Now I dyed this yarn especially for the girls. Banksy didn't end up having a beanie or scarf made because she has one and her mum said a scarf's another thing that she might lose. So I do have these 2 left over and they'll be able to go up for sale. This is how much yarn I had left over after making the beanie and the scarf. So I'm really happy with that. This is just the most beautiful, soft 8-ply DK weight yarn. I get my yarn nowadays from the United Kingdom, my blank skeins that I dye, because I'm unable to get a DK weight from Australia without paying an absolute fortune for it. The whole economy thing is crazy. So it turns out that when I get it from the United Kingdom, that it's a-okay in price. I'll stop. I won't go there any further about my yarn dyeing adventures. But just know, 2 skeins is enough to make up a size 5 beanie and a matching scarf. So here's our ripple stitch sample, which I really love these colours a lot. I love them a lot, you guys. I need to make something with these colours. So that tutorial will be up really soon too. Let's just pop over to my desk under my special light so I can show you these rings and have a chat about those too. So let's have a look at these Read Your Heart rings up nice and close so you can really see what they're like. This one is a 1 carat gem. Now I suggest, if you've got larger fingers like I now have, that you increase the size of your main gem just to what you can afford, because I feel like if this one was a 2 or 3 carat gem, it would be stunning. To me, the 1 carat just gets a bit lost on my big hands and fingers. So this one is called a vintage Moissanite channel set millgrain engagement ring. On the sides here, it's got little round gems and little rectangle gems. It's really, really sweet. It's actually quite a high ring, this one. And I do find that the 4 little clasps catch on things. But what you've got here is a gorgeous little oval shaped gem on each side of the setting. They teamed it up with this vintage filigree Moissanite, either eternity or wedding ring. So it's got the filigree pattern on the outsides as well as on the top along the side down here, with gems across the centre. So my absolute favourite one is this one. Is a princess cut Moissanite gem with a staircase channel setting. This one is an engagement ring or whatever you would like it to be, but it matches up perfectly, and I dare say was made perfectly to match with this princess cut Moissanite staircase channel setting in either a wedder or an eternity ring. So these ones I feel are the right size for my larger size fingers. This one is quite high, but for some reason doesn't catch on things, whereas this other little one does. I'm guessing because the little clasps are different. The clasps on this one are thicker, but they're more rounded on the top. These ones are thinner, but a little bit catchy. But either way, of course, it's up to your preference and what sort of jewellery you prefer. Now, don't forget that Read Your Heart often has massive sales. I think their discount on their products when they have sales is very, very generous. I have a site-wide discount code that you can't add to an already on sale item. But if it's not on sale and you really want to get it then, you can use my discount code, which is gumleaf, all in uppercase, 15. So that stands for a 15% sale. So I hope that showing you these up a little bit closer gives you an idea of what they're really like. This one is higher than I would prefer. Even though this one is about the same height, for me, because it's not catchy and because of the style of it, it just works. I'm absolutely in love with these two. Actually, you know what? How nice would another one on the other side look? Now you've got me thinking, you guys. But anyway, head over to their website. I'll pop the details down below in the description box. And there are so many different styles to choose from that you're bound to find one there that you like for yourself or for someone else, because it is affordable luxury. And to be completely honest, in this day and age, if I was to be getting married now, I'd be more than happy with a Moissanite engagement ring instead of spending the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars that some people do spend on their engagement and wedding rings. Because you know what? I think this is just as pretty. And also, because of the price, I'm able to get a bigger setting, which to me looks really, really good. So if you've got any questions, just send them my way, because I can always pass them through Harriet, who I deal with at Read Your Heart. They also have other jewellery, but at this point in time, I'm just focusing on the rings. Read Your Heart also likes to help you celebrate certain milestones in your life, and they have jewellery that reflects that as well. So they've got you covered. Alyssa, who owns the company, lost her engagement ring when she was away on a holiday, and of course she was so upset. While she was away, she met a lady who had a beautiful ring that caught her eye, and she asked the lady what was her ring, and she said that it was a Moissanite gem. These are lab-made gems. So then it gave Alyssa the idea to create a range of Moissanite jewellery so it's affordable for everybody. And I think that's just a lovely story. It turned out wonderfully in the end. The next thing that's on my agenda is making some washcloths from different crochet stitches. I did a poll in our community feed, and more of you than less say that you do use washcloths made from our crochet squares. I haven't and I don't, but because I've got all these squares here that have been used, I am going to pull them undone and use the yarn for that to create some washcloths to go with hand-dyed, everything's dyed on my mind, handmade soap that I always buy at the markets for my friends for Christmas. So let me just run you through these beautiful Tunisian stitches. I don't know the names of them now, so I'm sorry that I can't tell you that, except for the honeycomb. That one stays well and truly in my mind. The patterns are really, really pretty. But what happened? My little daughter Isabel wanted a Tunisian blanket made in all the different squares. I love this one. Look at that. But what I found with using this cotton, this Bendigo woolen mill cotton, is softer and probably flatter. How do I describe it compared to cotton that you get from your big box stores? So it doesn't hold its shape and its stitch definition like the other thicker cotton does. So as I was making them, I was finding that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get the squares to be the same size, because each stitch in Tunisian creates a different size square. It was becoming very frustrating that I said, Izzy, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth the brain damage and how it's going to turn out. Just looking at them like this, they look okay, don't they? You'd be wondering what I'm talking about, but here's one. Here's a good example. This one's gone all tall and skinny on me because of the pattern that it is. They're beautiful patterns. But we want normal crochet, don't we? We don't want Tunisian. I love Tunisian crochet. It's a beautiful movement. But I'm finding you just have to have the right yarn. And a stiffer, more bouncy round yarn is better for Tunisian crochet in my mind. Here's the last one. So today I'm going to begin unpulling these so they can be reused again. I didn't want them to go to waste, and they were sitting around for so long, again, looking at me, So now they can have a proper home. They can become something useful that I'll do tutorials for, and then we'll all have them to gift people, because Christmas will be here before we know it. I can see how these would be beautiful for face washes, washcloths. So soft, so pretty, but not for cleaning cloths in the kitchen. Certainly not this type of cotton. I would use a sturdier cotton, or maybe even some of that yarn that is like, it's called scrubby yarn. Something that has enough abrasive nature to it that it would be good for cleaning, but certainly not this. Let me show you what the Bendigo woolen mill cotton is like. I think you'll be able to see here just how soft and flat it is. And it's actually a small thread for an 8-ply. Looks more like a 4-ply just there to me, but it's not. That's an 8, and it's just super, super soft and doesn't hold a shape, which is a-okay, because if you love this, you love it. If you don't, you buy something else. But I just love how soft that this cotton is. Latte colour. Beautiful. One last thing to mention today is that before I go away, which is on the 3rd of September, I'll pop up a video that will give some explanation about our mystery crochet along that we're going to do when I get back. I want to give you an approximate of how much yarn you will need. But again, that depends on what sort of blanket, of course it's a blanket, what sort of blanket, what size blanket you're going to make. Now, without giving too much away, I want to create what is going to be called a happy something blanket. Not the actual patterns, but the happy in the colour, because we can use colour to create all sorts of feelings and emotions. So this one is going to be a happy blanket because of the colours that we use. And I'm sure you'll be able to come up with something out of your stash. I'm not going to go into my muted tones that I really like. I'm going to go a bit brighter than Big Jill normally does, because I just feel like it. That doesn't happen very often, but what I'm envisaging in my mind for this project really deserves to be brighter and springier, summerish colours. I'm going to make mine unisex colours, so it's not necessarily favouring boy colours and girl colours, which I know is something that's a whole different subject of its own. But me, coming from where I've come from in my life, I still think of boy colours and girl colours and unisex colours. A colourway set that can work for both sides. I don't know what you're like. You're probably much the same as me, unless you're a whole lot younger, and the younger folks seem to have different ideas on that. And that's okay too. I think I'm going to start pulling these undone for today, because we've got tutorials to get underway. Today I started off our video showing you our little lorikeet parrots who have brought a new baby into the mix. I'm showing this video because we have some people who live overseas that are actually from Australia. They do get homesick and they miss seeing the things, the nature and the animals that we have here. So if I ever pop up some video of our Australian animals, you'll know why. Plus, I also do like to share it with those of you who just like nature. Kangaroos, koalas, birds, things that we have here that you wouldn't have in your country, just something different to see. Okay, I'm going to head off and get into things. Thank you so very much for being here. And thank you to those who have gone and subscribed to our smaller channels to help them on their way to get to monetization before all the changes begin on the 1st of February next year. It would be such a shame if they miss out just by a whisker. I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye for now. Bye. Read. New world map. Mr. Gumnuts loaded it. Loaded it. Hold its shape and stiff definition. So it doesn't hold its shape and its stiff definition.